Hi, Andrea. How's it going today?
Good, thanks.
Good. So last time we talked, I got a little bit about you. I just wanted to go a little deeper into maybe what you do for your, like how work's going and everything, and maybe talk about you and Matt and how the married life's going. And yeah, we'll start off with that today.
Okay. Work's going better, so I know last time I came in, I was pretty, frustrated with work and, I guess the amount of hours I was putting in, but I started a new position and I'm finding the balance better, so, when I come home, I'm home and I'm not having to work more, so that's really nice, and on weekends it's the same thing, which I feel like I just need that mental break because, when I feel like work just blends into life, I feel like all I do is work, and I don't know, it just doesn't feel good, and I was getting kind of, starting to think of, whether or not it was the right decision, the right career path, but I'm feeling better about it now, so.
That's good. That's good to hear. And what do you do at work?
Well, I'm a teacher, so, I work with students, and now my new role, I work with students from all classes, and I help students who have higher needs, and I help teachers with planning, special, if they need special plans for students, so whether or not they need different curriculum expectations or certain accommodations, I help the teachers with that.
Awesome. And how are things going with Matt?
Good. Married life is good, so we've been married for about a year now, and it's been a lot of fun, and, we're just kind of, I guess, working our lives out together, and so, the one thing that has come up is our, wanting to grow our family, so wanting to actually think about having kids, and so that's been kind of a topic that's been coming up a lot more, but it kind of gets brought up, and then, we talk about it, but then it gets into kind of more of a fight. We're both open to having kids, but the thing is that, Matt very much, he is not thinking now's a good time, because he feels like anyways, I feel like every time I talk to him, he has an excuse as to why we can't have a kid right now. Whether it's we don't have the money right now, or, we live in an apartment, so we don't have the space. Or, and it always, I feel like it changes every time. So, no matter what, when I come back with, let's say, a solution or something like that to the last problem he brought up, he just doesn't, he has another reason, so.
Okay. So I'm sensing a lot of frustration. I feel I would be in the same position as you are. How long were you guys together before you got married?
A long time. We've known each other since high school, so.
Oh, okay. So high school sweethearts. And how do these arguments usually go?
Well, I mean, it depends, I guess, kind of, where we are and, stuff like that, but, normally I'll be the one to bring it up, because I guess I'm the one with the interest, right? So I'll bring it up, and then, we'll start talking about it, but then it gets really heated, and then, I don't know, lately I've ended up just kind of, walking away from the situation because I get frustrated or annoyed.
Yeah, and do you have any other feelings when you're going through these arguments? What normally happens in your head? What are you thinking about?
All I think about is, I have to defend myself, or defend, my I guess, stance on it. So, I just think about how I'm going to defend my argument.
And you were saying it depends on where you guys are. Where do these arguments normally happen?
Well, at home, but I guess, it depends. Sometimes, I'll bring it up, right before bed or something, or, yeah.
And what about when they end? You were saying that it gets really heated. What do you do usually in these situations? I
usually will, throw my hands up and just be fine, whatever, I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's over. I don't care, And, sometimes, I'll just say something oh, I don't mean it, but it's just whatever, I don't care, I don't want to do this, you obviously don't care, so...
Yeah, and he doesn't have a response usually to this, or...?
No, well, like, I don't know, like, I guess he knows at that point I need to cool off, so he doesn't say anything, but, you know.
Okay, so you mentioned a lot of things. These arguments seem to be going almost in, like, a circle. Like, you're coming back to the same idea, and you're trying to defend yourself, so they're not really going anywhere. Maybe we could talk about some strategies you could use towards making these discussions more beneficial for the both of you. So I was hearing some strengths you were talking about while you were talking about your work. You were saying that you do special plans for these students. Maybe because you were saying you bring up ideas for Matt and you always have solutions for these problems. And when he talks about money, you have a solution. And when you talk about space, you have a solution. Maybe there's something more there that we're not noticing, kind of thing.
Okay.
A lot of us look past feelings and we kind of just look for the solution right away instead of digging deeper into what the root cause is. So maybe a good idea would be to do a role play between us two. Like, you could be Matt and I'll be you, and see how a discussion could go potentially in the right environment and the right timing, and when things don't get too heated.
That sounds good.
Okay. So when's a time that you both feel very comfortable and relaxed and, like, maybe not before bed kind of thing? We could do, like, maybe just after dinner on a weeknight or on the weekends if you feel more relaxed then. What's the best time that you guys feel?
Probably, like, on a weekend or, like, early in a weeknight. And I guess, like, it's actually probably better when we're out of the house. Like, and maybe just somewhere, like, I don't know, at, like, a Starbucks or something, just kind of, like, talking there. Just because I guess it's a more inviting sort of environment.
That's true. So maybe we could do a setting in Starbucks. You guys make a date for going there on a Monday night, and right after work you guys go there instead of going straight home. So we'll set it there, and I'll start. So Matt, how was your day?
Oh, it was good. I helped with financial forecasting.
Okay, that's fun. So I wanted to bring you here to Starbucks because I wanted to reopen the discussion about having children again. And I think it's a really good idea for us to have kids. I think we're both ready. We both have income. We're both bringing in income. We both have a place where we live. We have everything we need. We just need the baby now. I think we're ready for the next step, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I know we've talked about this before. I feel kind of nervous about having a baby at this point anyways because, I've said, I don't think we're financially ready.
But what makes you nervous about it? Is it really just the finance, or is there more behind this? Like, are you just using these as excuses?
I think it's just the finance. I mean, like, we have student loans still. We're still renting. We don't have a house. I don't know. To me, that doesn't feel... I don't think we're ready for a family.
But there's always solutions behind those things. Like, I don't know, like, we always have, like, we'll always be bringing in income. And you're right, it'll be more difficult, but maybe we can make a plan towards that. We can make a financial plan. And we could go to the bank and we can discuss with someone how to, like, make everything work out for this if we did go further and have the baby. And space-wise, like, we have the room right now. Even if it is not ideal for a baby to be raised in an apartment, we could just start off here and work our way towards the house kind of thing.
I guess when I thought about having kids, I always thought that I'd be in a house. And, I don't know, I just... don't think that an apartment's the greatest place for a kid to grow up. I'm not saying that, it's the worst place, but I just want to, I guess what I know about having kids is just from what I've seen on TV. So I'm just kind of going by what, I guess society says you need to have a kid, which is a house and financial stability.
Yeah, and you're right, but every family is different and every person's situation is also different. Just because what we see on TV seems ideal doesn't mean that it's not plausible to have a child in an apartment and be in have student debt still. It's not ideal, obviously, but it's doable. And I think we are ready for something like that.
Yeah, but, I mean, we don't know anything about raising kids.
And you're right, but I think a lot of parents go into this not knowing how to raise a child, and I think it's just something we could work towards. Like, maybe we could make a plan, we could plan things out. We could go to how to raise a baby kind of sessions and, baby classes, and we could read baby books and things, and maybe we could, my cousin Courtney, she just had her baby, and we could go over there and we could play with her for a day, Harlow and her new son, Hudson, we could go over there and spend time with them and see how you feel with those babies.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that'd make me more that'd make me more comfortable. But see, I still think here he'd still probably bring up, the finances and stuff like that.
Yeah. Maybe just in those times you could talk about how you believe that it's just more of a fear that he's feeling, because that's what I'm sensing when you're telling me these are the problems he's having.
Mm-hmm.
It does feel more of a fear that he's worried he's not going to be a good parent, and that he doesn't think he's ready for the baby, just emotionally and mentally.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you were to bring up the idea of baby classes, maybe it would open him up, and talking about maybe babysitting other friends, babies, other cousins. I think that's a really good idea, and it's a way to open up his mind. Even if their first discussion doesn't go exactly as planned, I think you could just see where it goes. Bring him to a baby class, or bringing him to your cousin's place and babysitting that baby.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be very helpful for him, to open up his eyes.
I mean, I don't think I ever thought about him having a fear of it. I guess I always thought there were actual reasons as to why he doesn't want to do it right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, it makes sense. It is a big step, but it's obviously scary when you're bringing a human being into this world. So,
yeah, of course.
I guess I never really thought of that. So no, it's a good point, and I think kind of maybe talking to him about taking classes and making a plan so that we have money set aside or something like that, and even setting maybe a timeline of when we'd like to start, so that I'm not saying right now, but at least in the near future.
Yeah, to just have a plan. I think you both seem to be the type of people that would benefit from having a plan.
Mm-hmm.
So it is something to obviously think about. Maybe from what I'm hearing is maybe just sit down by yourself, write out what you would like from this and what you think would be beneficial for the both of you. Write out a plan, when maybe dates you were thinking about, and just bring the idea to Matt at the first Starbucks date you have, and just tell him that you've been really thinking about this, and you've taken his side into consideration, and you're really trying to just open up his mind to the idea of having a baby sooner than later.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think that is something you could work on just between now and maybe our next meeting. Is a second meeting something you'd like to do?
Yeah, I think so, just to kind of discuss how bringing up the plan went with him. Because, between now and then I can talk to him about doing these types of classes and planning out financially, coming up with a financial plan with him. So I think, and then going from there and seeing how he reacts, and then maybe bringing that back and talk about his reaction.
Yeah.
Would it be beneficial to, say, are you scared, or?
I think maybe just see what he brings up, and then maybe ask him if there's a root cause. Maybe ask him what his feelings are towards the topic, and not just his excuses, but maybe ask him if there's any other emotions he's feeling towards it.
Okay.
Maybe a good idea would be to bring him to the next session. We could do a couples therapy session where I could be the mediator, and we could talk further into this after you guys do have your first discussion.
Yeah.
And just to see if things don't work out exactly how you want it at this Starbucks date, then maybe I could see if there's anything I could get from him, just for the benefit of both of you, to open up, to clear that area and to have a better understanding.
I mean, I would totally be open to that, and I think it'd be super beneficial, so I'll definitely talk to Matt and see if he'd be open to it too.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you for coming in today, Andrea.
Thanks for seeing me.
Thanks.